Hey everybody, this week on the Daily Dose, we're talking about the church season of Advent. The word Advent means something or someone important is coming. And in the church, it's that time leading up to Christmas, and it's all about waiting for the coming of Jesus, the birth of God in human flesh. And if you're watching the Daily Dose in real time, Christmas is almost here, and you might find yourself waiting. There's nothing we can do to speed up the arrival of Christmas. Even if you celebrated with your entire extended family over Thanksgiving weekend, the day of Christmas cannot come any faster. And when we wait for anything, really, throughout life, we wonder what to do during this time of waiting. And maybe you have a list of things that you really love to do during this season leading up to Christmas. My sister, like some of you, baked sugar cookies. She rolled them out with her daughter and decorated Christmas cookies this past weekend. I know some of you have traditions like cutting down your own Christmas tree, or maybe it's donating to Jingle Bells or heading to the high school Christmas concerts in the coming days. And for some of you, all these things that you do while waiting for Christmas, they bring you a lot of joy. But I also know that joy is pretty hard to come by for some of you during this time. This season of waiting is hard, maybe even painful. It's filled with memories of loss, maybe even memories of anger. And just last week at our house, we were decorating our Christmas tree. And see, I happen to be a Christmas time baby. My birthday is 1 week before Christmas. And I think because of that, I have been gifted many, many, many ornaments. I would receive a ton throughout my childhood. My aunt had a tradition when she was alive, she would give me a different ornament each year, and I really looked forward to that. My friends would give them to me at birthday parties. My parents would give me Christmas ornaments. And at this time of year, I love to decorate the tree because I love to sit in front of the tree and hand one to each of my kids, and we hang them up as a family. We talk about the stories associated with these ornaments. But see, for Hans, my husband, this time of year is really hard. His mom died 37 years ago this week, and he spent, understandably, a lot of his Christmases filled with sadness, sometimes chaos. And as we talked about this last week when we were hanging up these ornaments, he was noticing that he doesn't have joy-filled stories from Christmas. He doesn't have ornaments from his childhood with positive memories attached to them. And so something that brought me a lot of joy didn't automatically bring him any joy at all. So today I want to ask with you, both those of you who love this season and those of you who struggle with it, where do we look for joy during this time of waiting, this season of Advent? Because as Christians, we tend to naturally associate the word joy with this season. We read about joy in the Gospel of Luke when the angel appears to the shepherds and says, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is the Messiah." In Matthew, we hear about the wise men on their journey to find Jesus. And we hear, when they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. And in the church, on every single Christmas Eve that I can remember, we sing the song, "Joy to the world, the Lord is come." Joy seems to go hand in hand with this time of Christmas, except when real life happens and we remember that it doesn't. Author Kate Bowler invites us to actually practice joy. See, joy doesn't naturally come at all times just because it's Christmas. And practice, she points out, could look different for all of us, different for you than it would for me. In her Advent devotional, The Season of Almost, she talks about a conversation that she had with the founder of an organization that works to eradicate human trafficking around the world. And when she asked him how he has stuck with this extremely challenging job for all these years, many decades, he responds, "Joy is the oxygen for doing hard work." Joy is the oxygen for doing hard work. For this man, Bowler writes, it signified a kind of alchemy where hard things become not only possible, but sustainable when he finds opportunities for joy. For him, it's spending time with his kids or getting into rigorous exercise, but that's his story, not yours. So hearing this, we ask, what does getting oxygen do for you? Well, when you breathe in and breathe out, notice how your mind is cleared. Notice how your body is actually cleansed through the act of breathing. You can focus. I used to teach yoga, so I know that a full, deep breath can really do wonders for you. And during this season of waiting, even if joy is hard to come by for you, I invite you to remember that joy doesn't have to be monumental. It can sometimes be something small. It can be a breath, a reminder that God will sustain you through those hard things in your life. It can be the reminder that God came as a baby to bring joy to you, even when it seems impossible. Thanks so much for watching the Daily Dose this week. We'd love for you to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to share the Daily Dose with someone else who might need a word about Advent in their lives this week. Have a good day.